Hello everyone and welcome back guys to round 2 of the LCR Formula E League, where today we're here at Long Beach. Now obviously if you guys missed out on last week's video, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. It was a very close race at the end of the day with Jork 94. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to avoid some spoilers as we head into week 2 of the series. Anyway, spoiler time prevention over then, and yes, we were able to take home the race victory last week, but in very tight fashion. Obviously, Jork did really, he probably deserved that race victory as well. I had fantastic pace right the way throughout the evening. So this week, I definitely put in a little bit more practice. Wanted to leave nothing a chance here around a much longer circuit. I think one of the longest circuits actually on the Formula E calendar this season. And yeah, this week we head to Long Beach Full. Normally, I think, at least definitely in Season 1, I can't remember if it's Season 2 as well, we raced around the short version of this circuit. But yeah, we did win this race back in Season 2. Obviously, we're looking to try and repeat that feat here in Season 3, as well as we head towards the end of my fastest qualified lap here. It was an okay lap. There were definitely a few more tenths to find in that final sector here, but as we head at the final corner and down towards the start-finish line there, it is going to be a 1 minute 21.517 there, which would be good enough for pole position at the end of qualifying there. So really happy with that. Unfortunately, no points available from qualifying in this series. However, there are 2 bonus points for the fastest lap as well, so hopefully we'll be gunning for that. But yeah, pole position by 9/10 of a second in the end, ahead of Jork, LCR Ben, EPT Apex, and Jack ahead of Rosenquist there to round out qualifying there. But yeah, only a 7-car field this week. Unfortunately, a couple of people couldn't quite make the races here as we get ready on the grid for the second round of the championship. There are a very tightly bunched up grid ready for the second race of the championship. But yeah, hopefully we can try and make it 2 from 2 tonight. Like I said, we had some good pace in qualifying, but obviously we'll have to wait and see as to what does happen in the race. But hopefully a nice clean getaway can help us. Obviously that was one big thing that really did potentially cost us last week out as well there. But yeah, we're ready on the grid though for the start of this race. I think we're going to be going in about 5 seconds here. So the lights are coming on now then, and it is going to be lights out and away we go there, getting a little bit cheeky with the start procedure there. I did actually have a look back on the slow-mo, and we we hadn't crossed the start-finish line, which was our reference point before the timer began, so you make your own call there. I did lift off a couple of times in towards turn 1 there, so we wouldn't gain any advantage out of it nonetheless though. But yeah, as we head down in towards the roundabout for the first time in this race there, I definitely just wanted to build up a bit of a margin as quickly as possible in this race. Around this track it's so easy to get concertinaed up and just be shuffled down the order here. So hopefully we can try to, build up a bit of a, build up that margin, like I said, and open up a bit of a window, just so we can make some small mistakes. We got a little bit of a gap as well just behind us here as we head out in towards the latter stages of lap 1, out onto the back straightaway on this circuit there, and already opening up a good 200-300 foot margin over Jork just behind us. So I'm not too sure if there was a bit of contact or what as we head down in towards the final few corners of lap 1 there. But yeah, that was basically, we couldn't have asked for much better of a start than that as we head through the final couple of corners of lap 1 down in towards the hairpin here, and you can see the gap was about 100 feet as we head through the hairpin there. But as we head down towards turn 1, obviously the foot counter is not the most realistic and best way to measure gaps on Forza there, but you can see we had about 300 foot gap over Jork by the end of lap 1. So over the next few laps though, we would really just focus on building that up, and you can see we were putting away a good sort of 100 feet a lap there or thereabouts. So definitely, trying to build up that margin as quickly as possible here. And a few laps later, the gap was now up to about 500 feet here, so we were doing everything we needed to in the early stages of this race. And now we just try and keep our head down and avoid making mistakes throughout the rest of this race here. And already skipping on towards the end of lap 20 here, you can see already well over the halfway stage of this race here. And we had pulled out quite a good margin over Jork behind us here as we head down in towards the final few corners of the lap here. We are going to dive into the pits on the end of the lap there as well, and you can see Jork was about, and it was, it was bouncing around from about 1,000 feet to about 2,500, 3,000. So we'll wait and see as to what does happen with that. Luckily for me, Jork hadn't made his pit stop yet, although my teammate Ethan PT had here. And yeah, Long Beach has got, I think, the longest pit lane known to man. It's rather impressive for such a short circuit at the end of... But anyway, heading back out of the pit lane now, and yeah, we would come back out in P2 of the race here. So overall, so far, you know, it's been quite a good first stint here, and only a few more laps to go of the race. Hopefully, like I said, we can just try and hold on for the race victory here as we head through the first couple of corners of the lap there. And yeah, I must admit, after Rio, I wasn't really enjoying this car too much. I felt it had a bit too much power for the, you know, for the really skinny road tyres that it had. But heading to Long Beach, it felt a whole lot better. I don't know if it was just a bit more practice, whether I'm getting a bit more used to Forza again or what. But yeah, the car certainly felt a whole lot better this week out there, and I felt like I could get into a much better groove with it as well. There is one lap later, Jork would dive into the pit lane there, just so we could, I'm pretty certain, so we could lead a lap of the race there. But yeah, 4 laps to go now of the race. VNT Rosenquist would get out of the way as we head down in towards turn 1 there. And yeah, hopefully now, you know, we should have quite a big margin ahead of Jork, and hopefully, yeah, we can try and take home 2 for 2 in the championship there as we head on to the final lap. And yeah, Ethan was actually really close to Jordan there. There was a big battle going on for P2 there, and obviously me and Ethan as well, teammates, were trying to outscore them as best as possible there. Jork's teammate LCR Ben couldn't actually race last week, so that had definitely put them on the back foot as we head into the second week of the championship there. But anyway, down in towards the final couple of corners then of this race, and yeah, it was a fairly textbook race victory, one I was really happy with at the end of the day there. Filled me with a lot of confidence after what was quite a rusty opening week to this series there. But through the final couple of corners then here in Long Beach there, and it's going to be 2 seasons in a row down towards the start-finish line there, and yeah, it is going to be the victory at the end of the day. Really happy with that one, going for a nice donut across the line as well there, and a 121.059 would give us the bonus 2 points as well for the fastest lap of the race there. But yeah, Jork would just hold on for P2 at the end of the day. They're ahead of Ethan in P3. Apex in 4th, Ben in 5th there, had a Jack and a Rosenquist there at the end of the day. But yeah, really good race nonetheless though. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video as well. If you have done, make sure you do get yourself subscribed for more Formula E content on the channel. But yeah, that now gives us a 14-point margin as we head in towards round 3 of the season at an entirely new circuit for LCR Formula E. We head to Homestead, Miami, so quite excited to see how we get on there. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you guys next time.